It looks like Nike may not be able to protect Sha'Carri Richardson forever. She has been through scandals before, and somehow she always managed to bounce back. But this time feels different. This isn't just about online gossip or her smoking weed like in the past. Now there's actual footage, police involvement, and accusations that she crossed a very serious line. And the big question being asked everywhere is simple. If Nike has dropped men for far less, why are they still standing by her as their poster girl? It all started with the chaotic airport incident. Cameras caught Sha'Carri and her boyfriend, Christian Coleman, arguing as they were about to board a flight at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. At first, it looked like nothing more than a messy couple's argument that had escalated. But once police stepped in and body cam footage was leaked, the public saw a very different picture. Sha'Carri wasn't calm, and she didn't look like the innocent partner she wanted people to believe she was. The video made it clear, she was the aggressor, while Christian didn't even try to fight back. When the officers tried to arrest her, Sha'Carri immediately tried to flip the story. She demanded to know why she was under arrest, claimed she hadn't touched him, and even turned on Christian, accusing him of being the problem. She begged him to defend her, but when he didn't, she changed her story again, insisting she hadn't laid a hand on him. The problem was the cameras had already caught everything. The harder she tried to talk her way out of it, the guiltier she looked. At one point, she even pulled the gender card, questioning why she was the one being arrested when Christian was the man. To many people watching, that was the moment she lost whatever sympathy she had left. She came off not just as aggressive, but manipulative, trying every possible excuse instead of taking responsibility. That's when fans began calling out Nike directly. They pointed out that the company had cut ties with other athletes over controversies much smaller than this. So why were they protecting her? Why was she still front and center in their campaigns when her behavior was this public and this damaging? But the drama didn't end there. Christian himself added fuel to the fire when he refused to press charges. Instead, he defended Sha'Carri, saying she didn't deserve punishment and needed grace and understanding. In an interview, he tried to paint the situation as nothing more than emotions running high. He said everyone has things they need to work on, and in his view, this wasn't something that should destroy her. On the surface, that might sound like a supportive boyfriend, but fans who watched the interview noticed something off. Christian couldn't sit still. His eyes darted everywhere, and he barely made eye contact with the camera. To many, it looked less like love and more like fear. They felt he wasn't defending her because he wanted to, but because he had no choice. Some even suggested Sha'Carri might be holding something over him, leaving him trapped. The internet didn't hold back. Comedian Corey Holcomb blasted Sha'Carri on his podcast, accusing her of weaponizing the victim role. He said she was the one putting hands on Christian but then tried to twist the story and play innocent. Other fans agreed, pointing to the footage as proof. To them, this wasn't a misunderstanding, it was a clear pattern of behavior. And this wasn't the first time someone had suggested Sha'Carri could be abusive. Her ex-girlfriend, Jamaican hurdler Genevieve Russell, had already spoken out in the past about their toxic relationship. In a painful interview, she described their time together as mentally, verbally, and physically damaging. She said she had been threatened, silenced, and even blamed when Sha'Carri turned the internet against her. At the time, not everyone believed her. But now, with this new incident, people are looking back at Genevieve's words in a whole new light. The more people dug, the more the story shifted. This wasn't just about a single fight at the airport. To fans, it began to look like a pattern, where Sha'Carri would lash out, then play the victim, while her partners stayed silent or even defended her. Christian's decision not to press charges, instead of helping her, made it worse. It made it seem like he had been through this before and was stuck in a cycle he couldn't break. One viral comment summed up the frustration perfectly. "There's no way I would stay with a woman who put hands on me in public like that. I'd be done. Because the next time, she could flip the story and I'd end up the one accused, losing everything. It's not worth it." For fans, this wasn't just about Sha'Carri's actions. It was about the message being sent. A man staying with a woman who mistreats him publicly sends a dangerous signal, especially when it's brushed off as emotions or discussions. People felt Christian wasn't being protected, and Sha'Carri wasn't being held accountable. Her teammates and coaches have allegedly made their own quiet remarks about her behavior behind the scenes. Some have hinted that she's difficult to work with, that she carries a lot of personal baggage into training, and that her attitude has created tension more than once. While none of them have spoken on record about this latest incident, their past comments are now resurfacing, adding more fuel to the fire. The sponsorship angle is also huge. Nike has been slammed before for dropping male athletes quickly when they face allegations. The fact that Sha'Carri still has their support makes people question whether the rules are different for her. Some say it's favoritism. Others argue Nike is protecting their investment because she's one of the most marketable faces in track and field. Either way, the public pressure is growing. And it's not just Nike. Other sponsors and organizations are quietly watching to see what happens. In today's world, no brand wants to be associated with someone seen as abusive or toxic. One viral tweet put it bluntly: "Nike, you can't preach empowerment and stand with abusers at the same time. Pick a side." What makes this situation so explosive is that Sha'Carri has built her entire image on resilience, strength, and defiance. She became a symbol of fighting through adversity after her Olympic suspension. Fans once saw her as a victim of an unfair system, but now the roles look reversed. Instead of being the one wronged, she's being accused of doing the wronging. That flip is damaging her brand more than any failed race or suspension ever could. The internet has a long memory. Every new clip, every resurfaced interview, every leaked comment adds to the mountain of doubt surrounding her. Even if Christian insists on defending her, the public no longer buys it. The body language, the history, the contradictions, it all points to a bigger problem that can't be ignored. And that's why people are saying this scandal could finally be the one that ends her career. Not because of her performance on the track, but because sponsors and fans may decide she's too toxic to support. The world has seen what happens when stars try to cover up abuse. The truth always comes out eventually. So now the question is, how long can Nike keep standing by her before the backlash becomes bigger than the benefit? And for Sha'Carri, how many chances does she get before even her most loyal fans decide enough is enough? Decide enough is enough? Because in the end, speed might win races, but character is what keeps careers alive. And right now, Sha'Carri Richardson is running out of both. The truth is, life will always throw obstacles your way. People come and go, there are ups and downs, and sometimes the pressure feels unbearable. At one point, Sha'Carri herself admitted that she had learned her lesson and didn't want to keep repeating the same mistakes. But the internet never forgets, and her past keeps coming back. Years ago, she had accused her ex, Janique Brown, of playing the victim and using social media to gain sympathy. That story caused Janique to face heavy online backlash, and for a while, she was labeled the problem. Only later did Janique push back, saying Sha'Carri's version was twisted to save her own image while tearing someone else down. That's why people are now connecting the dots between her past with Janique and her current situation with Christian. When video footage showed Christian doing nothing while Sha'Carri lashed out, many fans felt it exposed a pattern. Even then, she tried to flip the story, questioning why she was the one being arrested, and insisting her boyfriend was the real issue. To some, it looked